Oh, this is going to be a good one. Get ready, my family. We have some interesting things to talk about. Multi-dimensional topics to talk about. Things from the past, your present, your future. Welcome to Galactic Tarot. What are we going to be talking about today? Let's see. What does the title say? Dryads, giant trees, star forts, and Atlantis. All of those things seem slightly unrelated, but we're going to bring it all together here. We're doing this today, my family. Okay. The subjects that we were not allowed to talk about before, now we're doing it, my family. Welcome. Welcome to another episode. So we're going to start off right there. Let's talk about a dryad, first of all. Okay. What do we have for dryad? First of all, Can we see Groody? Groot's a dryad, okay? This little guy, Groot's a dryad. AKA, oh my God, the new mug! The new mug. I don't even know where to put that mug. Yes, you are, Becca. Becca's saying she's a dryad. Thank you, everybody, for commenting. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And much information to talk about today. So a dryad is a tree being. Okay, so these tree beings that many of you see in your dream time, many of you see in your meditations. These are multi-dimensional tree beings, which are usually depicted as a feminine force. So with these dryads, we're going to be pulling up the, we're doing something fun today. We're going to be pulling up the extra camera here. There we go. Share screen. Share screen. Bam. I hope you guys are ready for this. Alexander's going to be a little bit smaller today. Smaller than what you're used to. All right. Because I got slides. I got slides that I'm just going to slide on in. Okay. All right. So, dryad. Let's see what Wikipedia says. First of all, a dryad is a tree nymph or a tree spirit in Greek mythology. Dryz signifies oak in Greek. So we're talking about an oak tree. We're talking about the living soul of an oak tree, my family. And dryads were specifically considered the nymphs of the oak trees. But the term has come to be used for tree nymphs in general or human tree hybrids in fantasy. Sometimes their life force was connected to the tree they resided in, and they were usually found in sacred groves of the gods. They were normally considered to be very shy creatures, except around the goddess Artemis. Artemis. AKA Mary Magdalene, AKA Diana, AKA all them things, who is known to be a friend to most nymphs. Okay, so there are many names here, and much information to go over. So I'm going to be just kind of doing the summary here for now, because this is like everything we're talking about today. As you can see with all these titles, this could be weeks of videos, but I want to connect all this for you so you have it all in one place. And then if we need to go into more detail later and talk about these things later, we will do so. But I will be going through as much of this information today on my list as possible. And then if we don't get through it today in the time that I have, there'll be another video upcoming during the week, just so everybody knows. So Daphne. All right. So we know that word. We know that name. Okay. These are the tree nymphs of the laurel trees. And then we get epimelids. Pardon my pronunciation. The meliades. These were the nymphs of the apple and the other fruit trees and the protectors of sheep. So there's also this different name for the golden apple ones. We go down here and we see which tree is this? I like this. Actually, I got to read this whole thing. Supernaturally long-lived and tied to their homes, but some were a step beyond most nymphs. These were the hamadryads, who were an integral part of their trees, such that if the tree died, the hamadryad associated with it died as well. For these reasons, dryads and the Greek gods punished any mortals who harmed the trees without first propitiating the tree nymphs. What does that word even mean? We're gonna do this together, family. I don't even know what this word means. What does this word mean? Propitiate? To consolidate, appease, to make peace with. Okay, got it. All right, we're going back. All right. And then this one's loaded. This whole entire page is loaded. The Meliae, the Dryads of the ash tree were called the Meliae. The Meliae sisters tended to the infant Zeus in Rhea's Cretan cave. Gaia gave birth to the Meliae after being made fertile by the blood of castrated Uranus. Oh my God, I did not know this earlier this morning as Spirit was waking me up over and over again last night. The caryatids were associated with the walnut trees. All right, so now we get the walnut tree, we get this tree, we get that tree. We're getting to all these different trees, which I imagine there's at least 20 sacred, very sacred trees. And I believe that these are connected to the 20 letters of the original alphabet. Once again, way too much information. I just leave you with that little seed, my Starseed family, if you want to go continue down that path on your own. So what came to Alexander? So now we're going to do a little less research, and we're going to do a little more what's actually going on right here. Let me just, so this isn't as confusing, let me just pop just myself up for now. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're doing this, my family. Okay, so is this full screen or is it, how does it look right now while you guys are sharing this? Are you seeing just this small screen or am I full screen? I'm just wondering. I have a sip of Groot. So yeah, the 20 letters of the alphabet. So it was the 20 letters of the alphabet, and then this got twisted with all of the information that has been coming to me for years. Okay, so I've been processing these dryads. This is also, keep in mind, the Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake was shown to me being a dryad, and this is what was this force that, you got all these men across history saying all these feminine forces are bad when they're not bad. They're just bad to bad people, plain and simple. But as a lot of the folklore and the stories give credit to Merlin giving the Sword of Excalibur, it's the Sword of Excalibur that was brought up by the roots of the Dryad. If you can picture Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy or the Marvel movies, spreading those roots out, it's those roots that brought up Excalibur. It came up from Mama, plain and simple, not from, at least from what I see. What was also shown to me, so most of this information is going to be factual based and based upon what's on the internet, what's coming through for other people. A lot of this is going to be validated with mythology, religion, archetypal frequencies, but just to share with everybody what's come through to me. When I saw that the tree was brought in here in Sumerian times, so I believe that goddess's name was Nuntat, Nuntat. But I did reading years and years ago. Who knows if this information is still even on the internet? But years ago, I did all this reading about basically the goddess who brought the tree. And this brought me to this whole spirit asking me the chicken or the egg. Because if the tree, say the apple tree, so the apple tree needs to be pollinated by the bee. But it's like, how did the apple tree exist? Like, once again, like I'm saying, the chicken and the egg. How did the apple tree exist without the bee? And how did the bee exist without the apple tree? And then we're seeing as we look back that the bee wasn't here. But going back to the Greek folklore, going back to these frequencies, the original Oracle of Delphi, aka that High Priestess card that we love so much here on the channel. Gently caress the like button, by the way. These were called the Dryae. And this is, once again, this is all information. Where did this pause from me saying what came through to me from spirit was specifically the tree. When the tree was brought in, the tree came with the beehive. Whether the beehive was in that hole, which is very feminine in shape and in nature. This hole that the old Disney cartoons, Winnie the Pooh would get stuck in. You'd see his butt hanging out of the tree because the honey was inside. This ambergris, if you will, these very powerful frequencies of this orange light, my family. So Oh, okay. So much stuff. I love this. Are you having fun yet? Okay, so all right. So the bee came in with the tree because they worked together, they lived together, and this is these trees that are speaking of star seeds. These informations and these very very ancient frequencies and these very very ancient aspects of the self, aka the dryads that were brought in from outer space, is what I believe. So looking at this and sitting with this, and keep in mind, everybody, always ask your doctor before watching Galactic Tarot, and take this all with a grain of salt, if you will. This is my process. This is the information that's come to me. Spirit has had me hacking apart and pulling apart these archetypes and to put myself back together, to find my information, to find the aspects of all of our souls, of these, these gigantic cogwheels out in outer space. That maybe stretch from the sun all the way past Pluto. How does something that large, how does an energy like that decipher itself and get itself to exist here? There was a fractalization process to get through all the dimensions, to have all of us sitting here together speaking about all this stuff and putting it all back together again. So anyways, the dryad, okay? So the dryads, aka the Lady of the Lake, aka the portals, all right? So once again, this would be just a tidbit more information that came to me through the information that came from Spirit, okay? So I think it was 2017 or 2018. Many people probably weren't here to hear this information, but Spirit showed me how to play a game that was not a game. This game was called Wizards of Sedona, and what was taking place was basically what me and the patron family do right now. Big shout out to all the patrons and the people supporting the channel. I love you all so much. So back then, being a shaman and figuring all this out, some missions were too massive for me to do on my own. So I'm not going to go into all those stories and all those miracles and how within 24 hours, people like Corey Good were talking about the work that we did, this group of people. What I will say is this, different starseed races, Spirit told me basically what their magical gifts were. Look at this as the game D&D. Yes, he is a gigantic nerd, I know. Look at this as the game D&D, but basically the aspects and the starseed lineages that the people that were playing the game, and some of them might be in here watching right now, or I'm going to share this with them later and just have them get a hoot out of this, because this is all connecting. Basically, this was like an Arcturian, and then there was a Syrian, and then there was a Dryad, and there was, blood elves, this thing, that thing. Basically, everything that was within 6th density to 8th density was represented in this game, and they showed me how to do this, to have everybody work together. So everybody thought they were playing a game, and I was the DM, I was the GM, whatever you'd call it, the game master, and I would run this game as the shaman, have everybody up on ship. That ship appeared into the reality as well. That big, long meteor that came through is exactly what the ship was shaped like, and that was within a week of the second game that we played. And I explained the ship to people that were playing the game, and that, once again, these people can all validate this. What am I getting at? The Dryad in the game, when I was deciphering the information and Spirit was talking to me, and I was sitting for days, for hours, sitting with the energy of the Dryad, of this powerful goddess, these goddesses, mind you, but the archetypal soul of this functionality. As I spoke with her, she said that basically we have the ability to pull you, boom, go into the ground and come out somewhere else. So, but to come out somewhere else, so it's like kind of like, the ability for me to walk from Sedona, Arizona right now over to Europe and so on and so forth. So it had to be within the same realm of that planetary body. But this is what was shown to me, was them being basically these portals within dimensions. And this was something that was exhausting and could not be done often. Okay. So now let's pull up the other camera again. Is it this one? Okay, let's pull up the other camera again. So one of the things that came through to me as I was watching, because this was fascinating to me, talking about these gigantic trees and the warping. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this up really quick. So this is a screenshot, or this is just a picture from, what was the name of this show? I should have wrote that down, huh? Vox Machina. So this was a special. It was a little weird, I'm going to be honest with you, but there There is disclosure going on, my family, and a lot of things are hidden right in plain sight to let you know how things were. So this is an underground ziggurat. As you can see on the screen, you can see all the roots, you can see everything, and you can see this underground temple that we're looking at. Okay, so I'm done with this. I can shut that screen down. What I wanted to show you was in this, basically there was this special tree. There was this special tree in the in a few of the episodes that was like this source of darkness and light, and they were trying to heal the tree and fix the tree, and it was a source of magic, and it was the source of all this energy. But during one of the episodes, they said this, and I was just like, oh my God. I was even calling people that played this Wizards of Sedona game back in the day, because I was like, they're saying stuff that came through from spirit all those years ago. And that was one of the things that they say in one of those later episodes is like, this tree can warp you somewhere once or twice or a few times. But they were saying this whole thing about the trees being portals. Okay. So yeah, let's keep going with this. All right. I'm done with that. Okay. So now we've talked about the dryad. Let's talk about the nymph for a second. So a nymph is a form of these dryads. These are nature elementals. There's these sylvan, aka the tree, and then there's the satyr. We don't have time to talk about the satyr today whatsoever. But the satyr is basically this other aspect, which is this representation of Pan, or you even hear satyr. It almost sounds like Satan, as this goat body and this fascination with the goat in a lot of these religions, dogmas, things like that. So, and by no means necessary am I talking about these things to upset people or bringing this information up to make anybody feel like they're under attack. All throughout history, everybody was the bad guy at some point. I have Roman blood in my body. The Romans were obviously the turds at some points. The Greeks were obviously the turds at some points. But this whole belief structure where we're not allowed to talk about certain people that were bad because of certain bad people that did bad things in the past, no longer, my family. If you see something bad, if you know something bad is going on, it is our job to send out these energetic roots and clear this reality, my family. We are here to do this work and to be the way showers going forward. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the Y and the J. Okay, because let me show you first let me show you this slide. Okay, let's instead of messing with the future. Okay, good stuff. All right. We're going to do a little reading from Scotland, my Scotland family. I love you all so much. Scotland seems very small, but there's many of the patrons are from Scotland. Just keeping track there, UK. Very united. I love you all so much. Gently caress that like button. At the appropriate center of Scotland grows what is Scotland's and possibly Europe's oldest tree. Estimates suggest that Fortingall yew, there's the word yew, in Glen Lyon would be anything from over 2,000 to 9,000 years old. I'm not going to read all this right now, but what we are going to do is we're going to skip ahead to this last sentence, this last paragraph. Yew's Gaelic name is Uber or Uer. Gaelic place names can often tell us about the past distribution of different tree species. However, making deductions about Yew's distribution from place names bearing its name is difficult. That's because people wanted you to forget the original language of nature. Once again, subject for another video. This is because these words can also refer to juniper. Wow, interesting. Those are in Sedona, where I'm broadcasting from, which was sometimes known as a mountain yew. Interesting. The name of the island of Iona probably derived from Iowa, the Pictish word for yew. This island, along with Kilnuia, please excuse all the weird pronunciations if I'm not saying these right, the Church of Yew, are religious and spiritual places. So it is almost certain that the names are a reflection of such places' affinity with yew trees. Here we go. There's this last sentence I wanted to show you all. Tomne Hurik in Iverness would also be a likely candidate for an association with yews rather than junipers. This small, steep hill was reputed to be the place where Thomas the Rhymer, a fellow rhymer, the Scottish mystic, disappeared into the underworld or fairy realms, and the truth shall set you free. We're finding once again the tree being a warp, the tree having this ability of magic, plain and simple. Okay, we're done with that as well. We can shut that one down as well. Okay, so we shut down that U right there. Once again, he's gonna be a nerd for a second. He's gonna just absolutely be a nerd for a second. There's also this YEW. There's also this word found in Magic the Gathering. Alexander started playing Magic the Gathering back in 1998. Thank God he did. Those cards are worth a lot of money now. Anyways, like I was always saying, follow your inner child. Your inner child knows best. But there's a card that came out more recently called Colfiner or something. Oh my God, I have a picture up of it. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Pop that up like that. Pop that up like that. There it is. Look at that, a tree with a face on it. Colfinor, the last U. What the card does, that's okay. We're not going to nerd out completely, but this is obviously what the card does, which I know like many of you do not play this game, and you're probably just like, Alexander, what are you doing? I'm so turned off. I'm usually turned on, but I'm turned off. Moving on. Whenever Colfinor, the last U, or another creature you control dies, return it up to one other target creature card with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. So the trees have this ability. Okay, so this is what they're saying in the game, because there's a lot. There is a lot, my family, with the elves and the information and the goblins and somebody or the people that work at Wizards of the Coast, they know what they're doing. And there's no way that this is accidental. The connections that I found, and even going back to 1998, when Alexander was rolling through tournaments and winning them all, how did he did it? He did it with a bunch of elves and with all of his elven magic, plain and simple. And he did it with elves and making elves and squirrels, as hilarious as this is. He would use squirrels and elves, make them very, very large and muscular, and beat up the opponent. So enough of that. I know it's like way too nerdy for everybody. But I had to show you that because I want to just like show you that the disclosure has been here. The information has been here. And all of this stuff is beyond what we realize out in plain sight. So now this word nymph. Oh, I love this so much. So this nymph, this fairy, this nature elemental, this goddess. Oh my God, I'm not even a third way through. Yeah, this is probably gonna have to be a couple videos. Anyways, the nymph. All right, so we get this aspect of the fairy, because the nymph is the dryad is the nymph. It's all connected. Nymphs can be water elementals. These can be wind elementals. These can be all different fire elementals. The nymph is basically another word for fairy, like I was saying. But when I hear nymph, what else do I think of? Oh my God, yeah, he's going to be here. Don't forget to tip your waiter on the way out, my family. Nymphomaniac, a woman. You know, people say, "Oh, I'm a nymph." I hear guys talk about nymph. Only a woman with uncontrollable or excessive sexual desire. Oh my God, we're doing it, my family. We're doing it. Okay, boom. We can shut that one down as well. We can quickly just show some pictures of dryads because we're about to move on. But like obviously, like you see this picture I have up over here. You see the picture I put up in the thumbnail. These clearly look like Groot. Like these clearly, we're seeing that once again. This is disclosure that Marvel and Disney are doing, and this is old. Like this is actually from the Guardians of the Galaxy, the comics. So we're gonna shut that down as well. Okay, and yeah, we can shut that down as well. Excellent. All right, so we're done with those little tabs. I do have more tabs, but for now, we're going to be just getting through all of this information. Okay, so nymph, interesting. Okay, actually, I have to pull the screen back up. So now we're going to talk about Alice in Wonderland, my family. Now we're going to bring it back to Disney, but just a different form of Disney. A different form of a grim fairy tale. What is this? A grim fairy tale. What is a grim? A grim reaper. This is something that has to do with death. And a fairy is a fairy, a nymph. Once again, these dryads. So we're literally getting these grim fairy tales. These were scary fairy tales to have the children listen to their parents, to have the fear be connected to where the magic was when there should be no fear here whatsoever. These dryads and these nymphs are not bad whatsoever. You'll see a lot of mixed information about these things being bad and almost like they're sirens and all these connections. But as the story said that we heard earlier, not only did the castration of Uranus, by the way, once again, where are we getting back to? We're getting back to Zeus. We're getting back to Jove. We're getting back to Jehovah. We're getting back to, not to burst your bubble, but somebody should burst your bubble over there. We're getting back to this name that is across all the dogmas, all the religions, and is the naughty white man with the beard pretending to be God when he isn't really God because it's goddess, not God. But we're not going to get into all that right now also. But what we are going to do is we're going to pull up this folder now. Okay. Oh, God, I just had to share this today. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I've been saying lately how I'm a philosopher. And you can see right there, it says philo. Oh, loving. Okay, loving. What's the other one? So, philo, loving. Oh my God. Can you feel that body, huh? Oh my God. So, philosophy actually means loving, divine wisdom. What else are you hearing here, my goddess family? Sophia. Oh, don't forget to tip your waiter, like I was saying. So we're actually seeing here right there, the philosopher to think, what was that turd's name? What was that? There's two turd families. What was it? Was it Rockefeller? Was it Rockefeller, Rothschild? I don't know. They're all turds. Anyways, just leave the planet. We're just like, we don't just go. Anyways, what did he say? I want a nation of workers. No, I want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. First of all, no one cares what you want, and just hold your breath for a really long time. All right, moving on. So, getting back to the trees. Oh my God, let's look. Okay, we made it a little less grim, but it's still grim. Look at Alice. What's that? It's kind of interesting. She's going into the rabbit hole, but do you see what's above her? She's going into a hole under the tree. Okay, all right. Now, during the movie, some of you will remember this, some of you maybe won't, because, Mandela effects, who knows what version of Alice in Wonderland you remember. But during the movie, okay, she's crying, she's having a rough go at it. And the Cheshire cat, I don't even know how to pronounce it, doesn't matter. The cat shows back up, and the cat has a tree, and the cat pulls on a branch, and what happens? A doorway opens up into the tree to take her to the Queen's kingdom. The Queen representing society, and Alice representing the inner child. I did a whole, my buddy Jim, Team Rabbit Hole. Shout out to Team Rabbit Hole on Facebook. I love that guy. Jim Kincaid. I did a whole thing connecting Alice in Wonderland to the Matrix. We should probably just redo that right here on the channel. But as you can see, there's Alice going into the tree. And then we're just going to go ahead. We're going to shut that back down. We're going to come back over here to begin communicating about even more. So what we're seeing is this connection between the tree being able to warp. I've attuned to this myself, not even just from spirit communicating this with me. We found it on the internet. We found it in Scottish folklore. We're seeing it in Disney movies. All right, so we can move past this. So it's a known fact, basically, in magic, in mythology, that the tree is a portal, okay? So moving on. What else do we know is a portal? The mirror. The mirror is also found being a portal in these movies, in this information. So, the mirrors are also being shown as Alice going through the looking glass and all this stuff, with the mirrors being portals, which I think this all honestly connects back to these, as much as I love it, I'm always quoting the Kabbalion, there's truth hidden in everything, but there's a lot of darkness hidden in this old Cabal. It's called the Cabal for a reason. This old Kabbalion, the old Jewish mysticism, plain and simple. So what were we talking about? We were talking about the you. I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but if I do, I do. So be it. I'm just speaking about the truth that I found from lots and lots of years of research, my family. The U. Okay, so what do we have? We have a Y-E-W. We have this tree with a face on it. Okay, what else do we have? Where else do I have a Y back about 2,000 years ago? But it was also a J. Oh, Jesus. Interesting. Great word. Jesus, also known as Yeshua to many in the spiritual community. Okay, so we're having yeah instead of the J, because the J is said not to exist back then, which I agree with. So the U. Oh, my God. He's just doing this live, my family. He's not scared. The U is actually this tree magic that was stolen by... What's the other pronunciation of that Y? We're not even going to say it out loud. I don't want to trigger anybody too much. But the U is clearly connected to these trees, and this is connected to the magic of these people that basically either destroyed the trees or were responsible for this and started to mess everything up by adding 2 more letters to an alphabet that was perfect with 20, because we were seeing that it was divisible by 4. And I love the number 22, my family. I love it. All I know is this. When it comes to multidimensionality, Spirit has told me to get to 22. I'm sitting here talking to you as 822, as this number of birth that says basically dragon spirituality, dragon 22. 22 to me is outside of the distortion field. And in the game of blackjack, 21 is the blackjack. And 21, as many people have gotten this information on their own, 21 is this dimensional place, not to talk too much about more information because there's already so much going on here, but 21 is this source of like having to get past this. So this is the first letter that we're seeing added, because the like I was saying, all these letters and all this information is going to be for another video, of course, talking about language, talking about etymology, talking about all of this. So all right, so we got through that. So we got to the mirror, the scrying mirror. So the first people I can find in history is the scrying mirror is these ancient Kabbalistic, whatever you want to call them, these ancient Jews, these ancient Jews, if you will. So this is all magic that is connected to the mirror. And part of what I'm getting to and what I'm gathering of what the darkness is, which is the meditation I'll be doing with my patron family. Did I mention I love you yet? With my patron family, right after this video, we're going to be doing a meditation. I'm going to teach you guys how to do the meditation. I've talked about it before. That'll be the last thing we do today, regardless. But yeah, talking about this, the fact that the mirror is a source of a portal, and the mirror is a source and a place that many believe in these mystical arts that we are all learning about and remembering, which energy can be stored into these mirrors. So we're going to be leaving that till the end, my family. But as we do this meditation, as we do this work, just so you can start to prepare, there's that fruit word again. All these mirrors will be cleared by the end of the day today. And all these mirrors, that any of them that are storing any of this Druid magic, any of them that are storing any of this nature magic, that is us, because it's where we come from. And this is the seeds of creation that we all are. That will be returned to the people. So if you're surviving off of it out there, oh my God, you better find a different buffet. So moving on. Okay, so we're going to go right here. Oh, someone's triggered. A bunch of people are triggered. Bring it. He's right here. Bring it. You prove how strong you are. See how I just sit here, still healthy, still thriving, and still talking to my family and just spreading more and more love on this planet till it sucks you into a vortex. All right, moving on. Giant trees. Where's my folder? There you are. Ooh, yeah, the scrying mirror, the reflecting pools, all that stuff. It's just so much information to talk about today. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get to the giant trees. I hope we can even make it to Star Forts today. Let's show the first picture of the giant tree. Oh my God, my family. All right. So some of this information is for some reason connected to flat earthers when you go find it. Sending love to all the flat earthers out there. If you're right, one day I would love to eat crow, but I just don't see it happening because my third eye's turned down and I can see the planet. It looks kind of round to me. So anyways, moving on. This is massive, massive, massive. Looks like the bottom of a tree. Does it? All right, let's go back to the chat here. Does anybody out there think that that looks like the bottom of a tree? I'm gonna drink some protein shake here. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this looks like the bottom of a giant tree? Okay. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna look at another one. This is fun. Are we having fun? I think we're having fun. I'm having fun. Okay. Oh, okay. Tabletop mountains or tepuy of Venezuela. Why am I showing you this? Let me show you one more exquisite, tremendous, if you will, tremendous. Nature puts us back together, which we all know. Another picture from Venezuela. Why do I show this to you guys? Oh, I know why. Because the shamans and the mystics and the people of this land, they believe that this is a tree stump. That's why I show this to you. They believe that this is a tree stump, okay? So, interesting information. So as I look at the airport vortex and I look at these mesas as I sit here and broadcast, I'm not even showing you pictures from Sedona, mind you. We're seeing a lot of trees that just perfectly got chopped at the top. Okay, so let's make sense out of this. So this is what I see. And what Alexander sees, he didn't ask for his third eye to turn on. It turned on by accident. I kind of apologize, but not really, to everybody that's been working to turn their third eye on. Mine turned on by accident. That's a story for another day. But let's just picture something scientifically. Let's picture something energetically here. Okay, depending on the elevation of where we are in the world, okay, if there was a gigantic tree, Jack and the Beanstalk, all of this information about these giant trees, and not to mention, my family, the movie Avatar. When I saw Avatar and I saw the tree, I wanted to cry and my eyes started to water. And when never mind when this, spoiler alert, I'm talking about a movie from over a decade once again, when the tree came down, like this was traumatizing. This was absolutely, positively traumatizing to see this, because we are those blue people, my family. We are these Syrians. We are these Pleiadians. We are these Arcturians. We are these aspects and these seeds from space that we're living with and living from these giant trees. Okay, so now let's picture something for a second. Okay, sorry, Groot, you're going to be the example. All right, let's go right there. All right. Okay. Trees growing out of the ground. My hand is the dirt. Okay. So we see this. There's no smoke in here. You guys triggered? Is that the best you can do? Like, seriously? Hold on a second. For all my Italians. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, he's so on fire. He's setting off smoke detectors. He loves it. Like I said, bring it. Knock over a mirror. Do whatever you do when I talk about this stuff. You know, it's the real deal, family. Okay, we're doing this. We're doing it live, family. Watch how he just keeps thriving and step into your power, my family. Don't be scared of these things. You are the collector of these things. Remember that. You got your governor removed November 19th, 2021. This has been validated from numerous sources. So my family, when you see that something is going on that seems dark, that seems wrong, when you used to be told to wait, when you used to be told to stop, get it, grab it, take it, cross it over, bring it to court. Okay, we're setting off fire detectors. Someone call the fire department. He's on fire today. Anyways, okay, so we're back to the tree. Okay, so here's the tree. Okay, so let's picture this giant tree. Mind you, you might want to go get your tissues. This is going to be a little sad. Okay, so the Great Flood. The Great Flood comes in because this is something all the dogmas, all the religious, everybody, it doesn't matter if we're in the Bible or this book or that book or this thing, we're over here, we're on this little island of Easter Island. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody agrees there was a flood. Okay, so let's talk about science once again. Let's say this giant tree was there, okay? Water comes in. Boom, ba-de-lee, boom, doo. Boom, ba-de-ding, ding, 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 ding. Tree falls over. Okay, this honestly could be where beach sand comes from. The beach sand might feel so good because this is the last remaining magic from these Druid times, my family. Okay, so when we see that there's a stump, when we see all these flat mesas, what do you think's going to happen when a bunch of water starts slamming into the side of a wooden tree? The tree is eventually going to fall over into the water, into said water from that flood. I know it's really sad if you sit with it, but we're going to keep doing this. What's going to happen to the bottom of the tree, though, Alexander? Oh, I know. Don't we call this petrified wood? Don't we find dinosaur bones and pieces of wood and all this information that's been turned to stone? Okay, so some of these stones, some of these rocks, and some of these mountains, to me, it's a scientific fact that these are, my family, these are trees, okay? I am not saying that every single tree out there, every single mountain is a tree. I'm saying that a lot of them are, though. That's what I'm saying, okay? So, oh yeah, Amber is, thank you. Brother Luke, let's pop you right up on the screen. All right, what does Brother Luke says? Amber came from these trees. Yes, it's petrified tree sap. Interesting. So, okay, so this actually brings me to one of the next upcoming subjects, Mr. Luke and everybody else watching from home. These trees, underneath them, always pretty much are found gemstone caverns. Okay, so it's like, he's kind of a big deal. Welcome to Galactic Tower, my family. No incense lit right now, by the way. Maybe I'll get some sage. No, whatever. We don't need sage. I am sage. I'm the physical embodiment of flapping my wings and just demons are like, ah! Yeah, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Don't blow me, blow you. All right, anyways, moving on. So underneath these gigantic trees are found, my God, are found crystal caverns, my family. Okay. Well, let's go to this special wonder. Oh, that now the nature authorities in America have made it so you can't go see this tree. And there's actually reports, if you go look about this tree, there's reports of rangers and people saying, oh, the tree's not even that impressive. Okay, this is so stupid. All right, here we go. So let's pop this up first. Hyperion. Hyperion. Where have I heard that before? Oh, yeah, it's a Greek god. All right, moving on. Hyperion is a coast redwood in California that is considered the world's tallest known living tree, measuring 115.92 meters. Hyperion was discovered on August 25th, 2006. That's pretty recent. By naturalists Chris Atkins and Michael Taylor. Thank you, my Druid brothers. This tree was verified for standing 115 meters. Jeez, that's tall. Okay, it says it's between 600 to 800 years old. What else do we have? Let's keep going here. Oh my God. So those are the biggest trees in the world down there, family. Those aren't regular trees. Those are redwoods that we're looking at this giant tree standing amongst other giant trees. Mind you, these are all shrubs compared to how this planet used to look. These are very, very small trees. Okay, so now we see this. Big shout out to whoever made this. It's cut off at the bottom of the screen, but There's Dave. We see little Dave. We see a giraffe right here. Okay, ba-bam. There's Hyperion. There's this clock tower or whatever that is. Big Ben. Big Ben. No one really cares. Big, big, big. No one gives a crap. All right, moving on. All right. So this is interesting. For hundreds of years, a tree known as Hyperion stood quietly amongst its fellow giants. Like I said, they're all redwoods. Giants deep within Redwoods National and State Park in Northern California. Inaccessible by trails, Hyperion, a coast redwood, can be reached only by bushwhacking through heavy vegetation and crossing a river. Still, a flood of travel bloggers, tree enthusiasts, and recreational climbers have managed to do so, and has damaged the surrounding undergrowth in the process. As a result, the National Park Service has closed off access to Hyperion, which is the world's tallest living tree. Now, under a rule adopted this year, anyone who gets too close could face up to 6 months in jail and $5,000 fine. How about we make that fine $5 million? And how about we make that time life in jail? No one is allowed to hurt a sacred aspect of nature. Mark my words, no one is allowed to hurt these aspects of nature any longer with us on the planet, my family. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to whoever closed off this section of this park, whoever's not allowing people in there, whoever's responsible. If something happens to that tree, I can't even say what will happen to you. You better protect that tree with your lives, is all I know. You better not say, there was a fire, there was a this, there was a that. We don't want to hear it. We see right through your false flag BS. We're right here speaking the truth, seeing the truth, and we're done. I'm done. Okay, we're just done. Okay, moving on. Did I get to the third picture? Was that the third picture? Yes, it was. Okay, so we're done with Hyperion. All right, so moving on. Okay, do we have time? We're on. Ooh, we got 14 minutes. All right, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, so the crystal caves. Okay, so there are crystal caves under the sequoia. Okay, let's show how beautiful this is. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have a sip of shake on that one. Okay, maybe we don't have time. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it through the star forts. You want the good news or the bad news? The bad news is we're not going to be finishing this presentation today. The good news is you're going to get more Alexander coming up very soon because he has so much of this to talk about. So anyways, this is underneath the sequoia forest. Okay, this is a crystal cavern underneath the sequoia forest. Okay, get ready for this, my family. So many of you have been following me for years, and you know that this whole Jove, Zeus, all this information connected to Jupiter. Jupiter, who is this? We're actually seeing the name Jupiter. We're actually seeing all of these names connected to Jove. Jove is the old name of Jupiter. Jupiter actually is the Roman equivalent of Zeus also. But when Alexander was traveling to that planet, especially like before and after with the patron family to reclaim our sexual energy that was for some reason being stored there, there were some gnarly spider beings, okay? What is he even getting at right now? Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on getting through as much information as we can. All the stuff about the Druid circles and the star forts is going to have to wait for another day. But oh my God, let's take a look at this. What do you think they used for gates in those crystal caverns to stop you from getting under the powerful trees? You could make it up, but why would you want to? What a bunch of, oh my God, I won't swear. You know, YouTube has actually created Steam, and then Sister Joanne in Scotland. I freaking love you so much. People are actually being able to see the videos right now, and so I'm very grateful for all that. So I'm attempting to not swear as much. I don't try often, but when I do try, I try not to swear. So look at this. We've literally got gates that are keeping people from getting into these sacred areas, which are ours. Have I mentioned that these areas are ours, and you can't block us off from our areas? Like what are they? Hold on, let's look at a couple more. Okay. Oh yeah, here's another one because the other one was the same. This one actually has a spider right here along this region. Not here so, or here so much, but right along here, there's actually a spider on the gate. All right, this is interesting. Are we having fun yet? Okay, so we're gonna shut that down. Wow. Okay. Wow. So I'm not going to be able to get to the connection of the star forts. And this is probably a good thing, because many of my other fellow content creators, because I'm choosing not to say, you hear a lot of people say influencer. Doesn't that sound like there's another word he's not going to say right now. But how interesting, the word influencer is also connected to that thing that happened that wasn't really real. Right. Moving on. Like I said, don't forget to tip your waiter on the way out. It's almost time to get to the meditation. So the star forts and all the information about the star forts and where we are with the crystal caves and the crystal castles, and the fact that these tree saps like the amber and these aspects and these gemstones that we all love so much basically are pieces of nature. They are roots of the tree. They are aspects that are connected to these trees. And this is where I'm going to leave this off before I teach you guys once again, because I've already talked about this either on Patreon or on somewhere. I've talked about the meditation that I've been doing. And as I've been doing this meditation, which is so epic, we need to be doing this together. So we're going to be going live at 3:30 with the patrons, 3:30 Pacific time, which is about 40 minutes from now. So at the end of that, we're all going to be meditating. So if you guys want to partake in this meditation without joining Patreon, I'm not forcing anybody to join Patreon. We will be doing that from 15 to 10 minutes onward. It's an hour-long transmission. So I'll make sure that I'm strict with the time, so you're meditating at the right time. But from 3:30 to 4:30, basically. So at 4:15 Pacific time, if we could all sit in meditation, and you could sit with the meditation broadcast of what I'm about to be speaking of, which I didn't even realize all this information was going to start just pouring in my brain. From this, where we are on the planet right now, my family. Anyways, so we're going to get into that meditation, but the star forts, all this other information, the stuff about the underground caverns, it's going to have to just wait for now. I think this is plenty for now. We're probably about to set off the smoke detector again when I talk about this meditation, but let's do it. So basically, like I was saying, about an hour and 25, an hour and 28 minutes from now, just check and use your Siri or your Google or your Alexa or whatever it is, or your internet that you're watching me on, and find out when it's 4:15 in Sedona, aka Los Angeles, because I don't think the times have changed yet, but just to be safe, check Sedona, Arizona's time zone, because I know the clocks are changing soon if they haven't already. It's very important that we all work together to bring these trees back, or at least their magic, and free their magic from wherever it is, because this is the magic that is us. This is what has been missing. This is what is being non-verbally communicated to Alexander from nature, from Gaia. This is what I'm seeing with these trees, which we'll pick up back right from there, these giant trees that then fell into the ocean, and what was underneath them. And why. That'll be another video, say like Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. I'm going to look next week, and I'm going to find when I can do part 2 of this little mini series. That after part 2 or during part 2, if you guys can let me know, or vote, or the patrons especially, we can talk about what you'd like me to expand on from there, whether it's the Alice in Wonderland thing, or the trees themselves, or the nymphs, or this magic. But these are multidimensional aspects that we all have on the radio station of, say, 6D, some in 7D, some in 8D and onwards. These are radio stations that some of you might not relate to, because you have maybe a mermaid there, or a Lyran there, or different aspects which are inherent to you in your cocktail of who you are and what your soul is. But I promise you that there are people that this is ringing very, very true, and you're feeling your hair stand up. I am talking to you. I am talking to your soul, my family. So you in particular, I hope that everybody helps with this meditation, because we need more of this, and all of us working together. But yeah, the meditation. So we're going to get onto that. So let me first give you this description. He's going to just take a little more shake. It's 3 in the afternoon. He hasn't eaten food yet. Not complaining, just training on becoming a breatharian. Moving on. So, let me write that down, actually. The food. We're going to leave this right there. I'll keep, this is good. This is good. There's going to be a second broadcast. That means that more information can pour into Alexander to be shared with all of you. All right. Oh, wow. 5 people left when he's about to tell you how to do the meditation. Interesting. Okay. Let me pause this. We don't need that distraction. Okay. All right. So, give you a little example of the sound. All right. Okay. Because this is the sound of nature, which is across the entire world. All right. So while you're doing this meditation, at least while I do, this is a basic. And by basic, I mean not basic at all whatsoever. So moving on. So basically, I've been sitting in the steam room for months now, and Spirit will have me partake in this meditation where I basically om a few times, but I'm not oming from my third eye. I'm oming from my root. It's been all about the grounding. It's been about the grounding for me. I spent much of my spiritual life sitting on top of my field because as a high level empath, it hurt to be here, plain and simple. But Spirit started communicating to me about a year or so ago. We need you in your body, and you're more powerful in your body. So get in your effing body. So in that process of getting in my body, which much resistance. So if you're feeling that resistance, my family, you have some work to do because we need you in your body. Anyways, and the thing with that, if that's triggering you, because it triggered the heck out of me. Like some people that were very, very loving, I would become quite upset with them when they were telling me I needed to ground because I didn't want to. But just to bring this all home, Spirit had me grounding. And once I grounded, like what to do from there, what to do from this grounded state. So, okay, I sit in the steam room, feet are flat on the floor. Okay. Your regular basic mudra, whatever you'd like. Shoulders are back and down. Chest is up. Good posture. The better our posture is, the better our antenna is able to activate, keeping in mind that we are mainly just using the root, and the root is the base of the antenna. So having better posture is going to affect all of our energy centers and improve your life, improve your breath, improve your frequency as a whole. But this is a meditation that we are technically going downwards. We're going downward into the planet. Okay, so I do a few ohms. As I showed you, I do a few ohms to get my body relaxed, to, get out of this modality of I was just working out and throwing all these weights around. And what I do know is from doing these workouts, I have all these endorphins, I have all this dopamine, I have all this serotonin, and it just does work for me. So for me, I have to do it. And for me, Spirit wants me grounded, like I was saying. So I really ground into my root chakra. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the nose, out through the nose, or if you want, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. It just getting the mind out as much as we can. And if you, what is it? Is that Alan Watts? Who says that? He's like, and if you are thinking about it, then never mind. But anyways. So what I do is I'm breathing. I do a few ohms. I do 4, 5, 6. On some days, my brain feels a little distracted, up to 10 ohms. And then I'm going to go down, down my right leg. And I see the roots going down and down and down. I hook around the center of the planet and come back up into my left foot. So you're going to picture this, basically your legs like a clothesline, sending this energy of these roots. And at the bottom where this spindle is, I picture this bramble, this ball, this sphere of roots start to fill this entire planet that we call Gaia. I'm not triggered, but where did all the people go when we started talking about this meditation? This is probably the most important thing I've said today. Just letting you know. I don't know where you went, but this is important. Anyways, so that ball of roots getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till it reaches the edges of the planet. Okay. So I picture this. The roots actually get bigger too. That tiny little root that is coming out of your foot. This gets massive. This gets massive. And you see this big tangled ball, which almost looks like those Chinese dragon spheres, but just made of roots, plain and simple. Just one root, actually. It's not made of roots. It is one giant root that fills the entire planet. So once I've done this, okay, so this is the process of what we're going to do at 4:15, hopefully, if you feel called to. I then, still ohming, every single part of this, I'm ohming through the entire process. I then, out the top, in the center, where I am, because looking at wherever you are, you're the center as well. I pop up one little teeny tiny sapling. So I just see this little green guy come up, this little green lady go pop, boop. And then I go boom around the entire thing. So I go out to my right. So I go clockwise and I go, I picture all the saplings in a circle. And then meanwhile, like I said, I'm doing this in my third eye, whether this is a visualization, whether this is a meditation, whether your brain is telling you you're making this up, it doesn't matter. When we do it together, powerful things will happen. I promise you. And then I start to basically use my energy hand, and I'm like one of my galactic versions, and I'm moving as I'm ohming, I'm moving the little saplings around. So I make one ring around, and then I'm making more of them. So I pop them all up on the side of the earth that's facing me. And then I do the same thing in the back. I'm having all the little saplings pop up, okay, while ohming. And then still while ohming, we're just doing the ohms, like the big, deep ohms that are now at this point going off the sides of the wall in the steam room. Picture these trees getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which this is going to be in the second portion of the video, because this is actually connected to the Maori people of, I think, New Zealand. And their god is a tree god called Tane, which many of the patrons know. I talked about this a long time ago, like a year ago now, and saying how Tane was the only one who could defeat the evil god. And he did this by separating the sky from Mama, from Gaia, and growing the tree. Yeah, be my guest. You guys can do this now while I'm explaining this also. But basically picturing these trees get bigger and bigger and bigger. So for a while, I just had the trees get massive and I had them get as close to each other as they could be. But lately it's been literally just having the entire planet be one just tree. Like all of the trees basically are blending together to where basically we'd all be just like sitting here together in this energetic wood of these trees, and having it all grow together, all push and push and grow and grow and grow. My family, to a certain extent, you'll see, you'll feel, and you'll know where the tree line basically says that's good. Like it's very, very large, but it's not like so big that there isn't room for it. It still looks like it makes sense. Like if the planet is here, it seems to be almost like the same size, if not just a little bit bigger than the planet. Picturing all this greenery, and then picturing the wood, and then picturing the earth as the core, as Mama Gaia. So when we do this meditation, we're going to be pulling back that Dryad magic, pulling back that Druid magic that is ours. We own it. We were those people. And we're going to be pulling back that magic wherever it's stored, anywhere, because the roots are inside the planet, anywhere on or off planet. If you're carrying this magic, you better get in a rocket ship right away, because we're coming to see you with all these roots and tendrils and all this epic energy of love. We're going to be coming to see you very, very shortly. And we're taking back what is ours. Doesn't that feel good, my family? So we'll be back very soon, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, some point next week. I'm going to do a part 2 of this. We'll be talking about Tane. We'll be talking about the star forts. We'll be talking more about the gemstones and how they're formed. And I love you all. so freaking much. I'm going to go get ready for the patron broadcast in 25 minutes, where we're going to be talking about the aspects of this that he can't say online still. As much as he's saying, there's more. So I freaking love you guys so much. Thank you all for being here. SedonaStarseed.com to come out to the event. It's, oh my God, it keeps getting better. So yeah, more of that to come, more information and schedules and all that stuff and lovely stuff to be added to the website. crystalcurrent.com for your energy tools, and galactictarot.com to book a session. Patrons, oh my God, yeah, my heart walking around outside of my body. I love you all so much. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Thank you all so much. Gently caress that like button, share this video out, and I love you all so very much. Cheers.